Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'll show you a flower with two different versions, and in these flowers we are going to have a bell shaped structure in the center of the flower, and I'm going to show you two different versions of a similar kind of flower which you might have seen in the daffodil or orchid flower. And I'm using this pen, and this pen is not important, not needed. If you don't have it, don't worry, you can use normal ball pen also, and it's totally fine to use that as well. So let's start with the first version. So in the first flower I'm going to keep the center part little longer, so that is why you need to create a little longer structure, an oval kind of pattern, or maybe you can say a teardrop kind of shape you can give. And because this is a bell kind of shape, so you need little broader structure here. So you can create a round kind of shape like this, a distorted round you can say, not very perfect round, and then you can have the covering of this particular round shape in a teardrop kind of a structure. So basically you will get something like this. So this is the center part of the flower. Now we are going to create petals around it, and all these petals are longer in a structure and a little bit pointed as well. So you can create one here, then maybe you can create one more here. All the petals are a little longer as you can see, and let's create one more here. And I'm doing it without thinking too much, so I have kept these four petals side by side, and maybe one we can keep here. So this is more of a hidden petal you can say, but little bit structure is still visible. And these are the five petals and the center part of the flower. So simple it is, right? It is very simple to draw a little longer structure in the center and a bell kind of shape. So let's trace everything quickly with the help of pen. So I'm using 04 needle pen, little bigger in size, but trust me, these things are not important. The basic thing that we need to understand is how you can draw all these things. Rest other things are totally optional. Just grab a pencil or a pen and you can start with learning these kind of things, because the drawing is important, and then you can beautify stuff with sketching methods and all, which is totally optional. So this is the main thing that we need to understand here. So I have traced everything with the help of pen, and then you can rub all the unwanted pencil mark. And I'm also going to create a stem. So stem is obviously backside, so because of petal it is not visible, and few part are visible. So I'm creating something like this, and this flower is more tilted towards the downward direction. So something like this we have created. How simple it is to draw, right? Now rub all the unwanted pencil mark, make it clear, make it visible, and then we are going to do some extra shading and detailing to beautify this particular flower. Although it is not important, you can use this particular structure for your watercolor painting or acrylic painting or whatever you like, but in this video I'm going to draw everything, so I'm doing everything with the help of pen itself. So in the center you can create some lines like this. I want to keep that particular area a little darker. So in the sketching method, if you want to keep any area a little darker, you need to do hatching and cross hatching around that area. So hatching means creating parallel line, and cross hatching means creating cross line around those parallel line that you have created. Now the closer these lines are, the darker shade you will get. So if you need little darker shade, you can have more lines around that particular area. If you need little lighter shade, you can keep lines at distance, and that's all you needed. And make sure you're not creating a straight line. You need to go along with the object shape that you have. Basically that method is called contouring. So when you create these lines as per object shape, that method is called contouring. And I'm doing some cross hatching here as well, so that I can get little darker color in this particular area. I want to make the center part more visible, so that's why I'm creating lines and pattern around this particular area to make sure this is visible. Now this is done. For the petals, I'm going to do some soft sketching. So you need to keep your hand very soft, and with very soft hand you need to create all these softer lines from the corner. I want to keep the corner more darker from both the side. So this is one petal, but I want to keep both the side little darker. So that's why I have started my sketching from tip of the petal towards the inside and from the corner of the petal towards the outside. So from both the side you can do the same thing and create some line in between as well to get little texture around the whole petal that you have. And this is what we need to repeat for all the petals that we have, and that's all we needed for this particular flower. And at the end I'm going to do some extra touch which we are going to do later on once we're done with both the flowers. So just repeat everything whatever we have learned so far and complete this particular flower first. And we're done with this particular flower. Now you can see we have little longer structure in the center part of the flower. Now I'm going to show you one more version of similar flower which you can relate with the daffodil. So for this particular flower I'm creating an oval shape like this. This is the center part of the flower, and then divide it into two sections and create a round shape at the tip of this particular structure. Perspective of this particular flower is more tilted towards the downward direction, so that's why I have created the opening in the downward side, but you can keep the perspective as per your need. I have kept downside perspective for both the flowers. And then you can create two folds at one side and multiple petal kind of pattern at one side. So something like this you will get at the end. So this is the center part of the flower. We are going to create multiple stamen in the center which is coming from inside. But before that, let me trace everything quickly so that you can see things clearly, because we have pencil mark as well which might confuse you. So let me just trace everything and then rub all the unwanted pencil mark, and you can see the basic structure that we have created. So this is the center part of the flower, a bell-shaped kind of structure. Now we are going to create petals around it. So this time we are going to create similar kind of petals like we did for the first one, but little different, and this time not very longer petal we are going to create. So I have created one here. Maybe you can create one more here. I don't want to keep it very pointed, so you can have little difference in the petal structure. And let's create one more here. So creating one more here, and I have kept these petals a little bit at distance as you can see. And let me create one more here. So these are the 4 petals, and I need to create one more petal, and because of the perspective it is more broader in shape rather than longer. And I think this one is quite smaller in size, so let me do it again and make it little bigger. And these two I want to keep it more towards inside, so I am again doing it. So that's the beauty of creating something like this, right? When you do it, you understand it, what kind of structure you needed, and that is why we are doing it with the help of pencil first, so that we can do modification as per our need, and a stem at the end. Now let's trace everything quickly. Now I have traced everything quickly, and now I'm creating a small stamen which is coming from the center. So you can create multiple dots and smaller round shape, and then connect everything together with a fine string kind of pattern and make it little darker. So something like this I have created to create the center part of the flower, and then make the corners little darker. And basically you need to repeat the same thing what we did in the first flower. So either you can keep lines and pattern throughout the petals that you have. You can keep it at distance, you can keep it roughly also, that is totally fine. So first you can do something like this, like keeping lines and pattern at distance, and then you can do more of a shading and detailing to beautify, like keeping the corner a little darker and creating some soft lines throughout the petals like we did for the first one. So exactly you need to repeat the same thing what we did for the first flower for all the petals that we have for this particular flower as well. So let's quickly do it, and then we are going to jump into the next step. And for these flower, the center part is very important. So I'm making it a little darker. So I'm doing some cross hatching, exactly like we did for the first flower. So you can create some parallel line and then cross line to make it darker. The more you create these lines, the darker shade you will get. So it is totally depend on you what kind of shade you needed. And then at the end, with this particular brush, you can use pen also to do similar thing, but it is easier, and to expedite the process I am using this brush to add some extra detailing around the edge of the petals that we have. So I'm creating these small pattern around the edge of the petal to make it more darker, and wherever I feel like this area needed more darker color, so I'm going around that particular area and creating something like this. So just a hint of black touch or bold touch around the edge of the petals, also to get folded kind of pattern you can say. And something like this, when you do, you will get a very different structure altogether, and it is very important step if you want to keep it more beautiful. So see the difference, and you need to repeat the same thing for this particular flower as well, although these things are optional and totally up to you whether you like to do it or not. So we're done with today's video. Hope this video is easy and simple, and please do let me know if you have any kind of feedback for me, and thank you so much for watching. See you all in the next video with one more simple tutorial.